It's a lovely morning and welcome to the program. Kunle Ariyo is my name. Nigeria boasts of a significant advantage as it has one of the world's most sizable populations of young individuals. Among a population of over 200 million, 70% are under 30, bringing the population's median age to 18. However, the youth in Nigeria grapples with formidable challenges in employment and skill development, posing significant hurdles to their aspirations and nation's progress. The World Bank anticipated that a Nigerian born in 2020 would exhibit only 36% of their potential productivity in the future, given the assumption that they lacked complete access to education. The limited opportunities for job creation and a non-conducive environment for entrepreneurship hinder the integration of the 3.5 million Nigerians joining the workforce annually. High unemployment rates, underemployment, skills mismatches, limited access to education and training, and entrepreneurship challenges collectively define the landscape of many young Nigerians. However, Ondo State, being an integral part of the country, is on the path of changing the narrative. So this morning we're taking a look at the state government, how the state government is actually driving economic growth through youth employment. My guest is already here. Let's take a break now. When we'll come back with the ground on a place to stay with us. Welcome back. Today we're taking a look at how we can actually drive economic growth through youth empowerment, especially here in Ondo State. And I have with me the studio to do justice to it. I have a fisherman and national award winner, and also the senior special assistant to Ondo State Governor on youth empowerment and job creation. I have Ambassador Urioye Benedict Bayishemore in the studio. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Good morning, presenter, and good morning, viewers at home.
Let's take a look at the statistics I've just read out. 70% of the population are young people, and these are the people that are also grappling to make it or to have a piece of a livelihood. What do you think is responsible for this?
First and foremost, let's give thanks to God for sparing our life up to this moment. Then, just like you have just said, 70% population of the youth.
That's huge.
That's huge. And I think one of the things that is actually resulted to all of this is because of the negligence and neglect over the years by different policy makers and decision makers. And now it's becoming a serious and a huge problem for the nation and the world at large. And one of the things that actually made this thing so evident was the breakout, the advent of the COVID-19 has resulted to this serious issue. But meanwhile, if you look at it in the past 20-15 years, nobody is talking about youth empowerment and entrepreneurship. And for me, entrepreneurship is a concept, is a dynamic concept of change that can create a lot of opportunity for young men, exactly, especially. And the young men that we're talking about, these are people between the age of 18 to 40, 45 that still have energy, that can think, rethink, and create and recreate ideas and opportunity. So for me, I feel that it as a result of the neglect over years that has resulted to this serious challenge.
As somebody who's also to take care of this youth empowerment and job creation, what do you think government is doing in our state to change the narrative?
Yeah, of course, for the first time, we need to consider ourselves lucky in Ondo State, the youth of Ondo State, that we are very, very lucky. Because for the first time, we are having a governor that has the mind of the youth. Of course, he is a youth, and he is also thinking of the youth, that the youth must seriously be involved. And that is why, for example, when my appointment was made as the senior special assistant to the governor on youth empowerment and job creation, of course, I consider it a very huge task for me, considering the avalanche of our population and the immediate challenge. Just like you have mentioned, 70% of the population gasping for opportunity on your table, where you have limited opportunity. But one of the things that I did was to find out from my principal what exactly that we will do. And the next thing was to design a concept of our 3 E's and 4 P's. And these 3 E's has to do with employment, empowerment, and engagement. And we have to drive it with 4 P's: people, private, public partnership. Because for us to solve the issue of unemployment, empowerment, and engagement, we need to involve the people. We need to involve the private sector, and we need to involve the public sector. That's why because initially in the past, it used to be private-public partnership. Yes. But now it is people, private,
so why are
public partnership.
Why are you hiding the people now?
Yes, now why we are hiding the people is that no matter how lofty any idea could be, if the people did not buy into it, it cannot fly. And that is why you will discover that it appears that we don't have skill sets. The youth are not interested in skill acquisition. It is because you are forcing something on them that they don't like. So what we did immediately we came on board was to launch the One Youth, One Skill scheme in order to celebrate the World Youth Skills Day. We use that to launch the One Youth, One Skill scheme. And what that means is that every youth in Ondo State is expected to have a skill. And you have that skill.
No matter the qualification.
No matter the qualification, you must have a skill, of which you have the skill. So one of the things we do is that we pre-qualify you. We listen to you. We know what your passions are. In line with your passion, you build a skill. Because in every skill, in every opportunity that you have, in every business that you have, there's always that downtime. And when that downtime, when that challenge setting, the only thing that keeps you going is your passion. And we want to thank the governor for approving that for us to launch the One Youth, One Skill scheme. Just immediately when we did that, we put up a youth retreat.
So what has been the result of...
The result of the One Youth, One Skill scheme is that we have some skill acquisition centers in the state that we are putting in proper shape, in the world standard shape for us. And what it means is that as a youth...
You are still putting them in...
Yes, we have all the equipment ready, we have the facility ready. All what we just need to do is just to do some skeletal work and administrative work and put the place in proper use. So for example now, one of the things that we are going to do in the skill acquisition center is that once you identify your skill, the place we're going to turn the skill acquisition center to enterprise development center. It's going to be a business center like. For example, we have some categories of youth. They have learned 1 or 2 skills. Some have not learned any. Some, they can't really identify what their passions are. But with what we are going to do in the Enterprise Development Center, which we call the Skill Acquisition Center, you will know, you will identify 3 things that you like doing without being paid for. Once you get those things, we as professionals in the field, we know where you fit in. And once we place you there, what we expect you to do is that after getting your training, maybe for 6 months, for a year, we will make you do business with our equipment there. Along the line, it's going to be a symbiotic relationship. You pay, maybe you are coming in to use our equipment to provide service to your client. You pay certain amount of money to the government coffer so that we can maintain those equipment and you get large chunk of it. So it makes it very interesting.
So how do they get patronage? Because that's also important.
Of course, they get patronage. Of course, we have a lot of skill around the Enterprise Development Center. We have content creator. We have social media. We take advantage of social media as a youth. That is the power of networking. That is the power of marketing.
How many centers are you planning to have?
Of course, we are planning to have at least 2 centers in each local government of the state. We are going to co-opt the then technical and vocational centers. We're going to co-opt them into these modern skill acquisition centers that we're turning to Enterprise Development Center. So that, you know, by the time you change the narrative that is an Enterprise Development Center, already it's very, very enticing. That okay, it's an enterprise development center, a place where you meet, you have a studio, music studio, those that will be doing filmmaking, a restaurant, computer center, ICT, cinematography. Just mention all the skills that you're thinking of. And from there, definitely at least for the first phase of it, we are targeting about 18,000 youths for the first set that we are going to launch any moment from now. And the other part of it is that if you look at some of these things, we have also identified 6 major areas that the youth of the state are having challenge. In the area of agribusiness, the area of entrepreneurship, entertainment and culture, politics and leadership, marriage and relationship. And we have also identified agribusiness, entrepreneurship, marriage and relationship, politics and leadership, entertainment and culture. So these are the major areas that we have seen prospect that the youth are going into. And for us,
I'm interested in this marriage and relationship.
Yes, it's a serious issue.
How will it bring money on the table?
Yes, it has to bring money. If you look at vast majority of the relationship and the moral decadence in the society today, it's fall within the age of those that are married between the age of 1 to 5, and these people are youth. We need guidance around this area, because, for example, if you and your spouse or your partner, you are having a business together, and along the line, you cannot decipher between marriage and business, relationship and business. You know, by the time that business crash or crash, it has a ripple effect on the clients that are patronizing those businesses. It has a ripple effect on the value chain that the business has created. It has a ripple effect on the number of people that are benefiting from that business. So that area is a sensitive area, a key area that we need resource persons, successful people who has gone through this line to come and put the youth through. And these are some of the things that was actually identified and discussed during the last youth retreat held in Ondo State. That is the first time in the history of Ondo State that the youth of Ondo State will gather for 3 days, brainstorm, connect, bond, and fashion out the way out to get out of this unemployment.
So what has been the feedback from that youth?
Of course, the feedback from some of the youth retreat, the feedback, of course, it's a mixed feeling for us, because that's the first time, and the program was actually planned within a shortest period of time. And some of the feedback was that, one, about 20 youths benefited by pitching their business, 500,000 naira grant, though not yet disbursed, because it's a process. The disbursement is a process, because we identify that 80% of young men in Ondo State that are doing business are not registered with Corporate Affairs Commission. And for you to get more opportunity and for you to get more patronage from government and support, you need to be identified with government agency, which is Corporate Affairs Commission. And already the process is ongoing. And we already identify and we already put them into our cohort, business cohort in Ondo State, under the office of the Senior Social Assistant to the Governor on Youth Empowerment and Job Creation. It's a process, and they are all enjoying the process. In no distance time, they will get disbursed, and not just getting disbursed, they will be monitored.
I was about to ask.
They will be monitored, and because some of the challenge somebody like me faced when I started my business, I can say it anyway. I started my business with just 30,000 naira. And by the special grace of God, I was learning through YouTube and other material online. But today, because I have passed through the road, the people that are coming to me
will still come to your personal life, because I know you read physics education.
Yes.
And today you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
But let's take a look at the young ones in Ondo State. You say that they are favorably disposed to all these ideas.
You see, that is the essence of the youth retreat. The youth retreat has opened the eyes of over 2,000 youth in Ondo State that indeed I can do better, I can be more. In fact, during the youth retreat, the program was for 3 days. After the 3rd day, the people, some of the youth don't want to leave. They want to keep enjoying the ambience and the opportunity, exchange of ideas and exchange of knowledge. Because virtually all our resource persons all over the country were there. The likes of Afolabi Mokwede, the likes of Professor Dedina, the former provost school of Agric, former commissioner for Agric, they were all there. The likes of Sheilo, the likes of Jibayo Adeyeye, and the like. They were there dishing out idea, practical knowledge that you can feel, you can see.
How soon do we see these young ones translating the ideas to reality?
Of course, we are already seeing it. We have about 2 or 3 of them already that has started something that is huge, but won't let the cat out of the bag. That's going to be part of our success story in the next edition. And one of the beautiful, the youth of the state actually made a request, two requests from Mr. Governor as part of the breakout from the youth retreat. They requested for a youth policy document that will guide government in tailoring development towards the youth of the state, and it was expressly approved by the governor. The youth of the state also requested for a frequent engagement with Mr. Governor, which Mr. Governor approved immediately. And in the last 10 months, you will agree with me that the sector, the group that the governor of Ondo State has engaged more is the youth of Ondo State. And we want to give it to the governor for that. And that is why we keep saying that the youth of Ondo State, we are very, very lucky. And we will continue to be lucky. By November 16, we are going to reciprocate that kind gesture to Mr. Governor again.
Well, let's look at funding. Because I know there's no how lofty the ideas might be, there's no how beautiful the ideas might also look like. If you do not have funds to support the idea, then it might not see the light of the day. So how are you supporting the youth?
Yes, of course. You see, the issue of funding in our survey, we're just 3 months and a few weeks in office, and one of the things we did was to identify our area of challenge. And we discovered that funding may be
I asked you because you also know, I know that you know that yes. Business finance is also key and very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we identified that funding is going to be some challenge. And that is why we look at it that if we run on PPPP, people, private, public partnership, it will be of help. And today I will want to tell you that we have some development partners that are coming to Ondo State to support youth-based idea, youth-based enterprise. And these people are not coming to joke. They are indigenous of Ondo State that are doing well in their different choosing careers, and they are looking at giving back home to the younger generation. That is one aspect of it. Secondly, the government of Ondo State is also doing their best in making sure that the 2025 budget is going to do a lot to capture some of this support for youth-based enterprise and youth development. So for us, we believe that by the special grace of God, we may have little or no funding issue when it comes to footing and executing some of these lofty ideas, because idea rules the world, and these ideas are embedded and reside with the youth of Ondo State.
And are they actually generating the ideas? Of
course, they are generating a lot of ideas, a lot. In the next couple of months, you will start seeing success stories everywhere about what the youth of Ondo State are capable of doing. And by the special grace of God, I know that the government of Ondo State is 100% in support of youth development in the state. I
also want those people that are also watching this program to learn from you. You read physics education. One would ordinarily expect you to be in the classroom teaching your students physics. And today you are doing well in business. What actually prompted you?
You see, first and foremost, I am a trained teacher, and what I am still doing today, I still consider it as teaching. Because we are
not teaching physics.
Yes, we have different method of teaching. We have lecturing method, we have playway method, we have teaching method, and this could be considered as one of them. Because teaching itself has to do with passion. It has to do with passion, because if you consider what teachers are being paid today, it is not the money that is driving them, but it is the passion they have for those children that they are teaching. That is what is driving them. So today, what me I am after is to see, after a few months or few years in office, by God's grace, if God says we are coming back after November 16, if we are here, after 4 years, we want to see thousands of business clusters that we have equipped, we have developed, that we can now become colleagues, that we can do things together. So for me, one of the things that actually propelled me to go into business is that I have been an enterprising person from my younger age. With my mom, I used to go to the market to hawk, to do things, and I like counting money. And I told my mom that when I grow up, I want to be calling everybody to be bringing money for me. And I said, when I finished from the university, I told my dad that I'm not going to look for a job, that I want to go back to the fishing business that he taught me. And my dad thought I was joking. And when the opportunity came, after serving NYSC 2010-2011, I served in Imo State. And I decided to go back to my village in Ilaje. I started doing fishing, but the only thing I did different was to add value to the fishing business.
And that education actually assisted.
Of course, that education assisted me a lot, and I started packaging the crayfish. Unfortunately for me, it was the time that the federal government of Nigeria launched the social investment program, the Empower program, and the MSME program. When the vice president of Nigeria came for the MSME clinic, I went there to exhibit my product, my crayfish and my fish. And fortune smiled, and I was picked as one of the best exhibitors for that project, and they gave me a supply to supply about 129,000 puppies, all the primary schools in Ondo State, crayfish. And that was how the whole thing started blowing, and I started exhibiting all over the country, all over the world. And today here we are, we're an ambassador of Federal Republic of Nigeria on micro, small and medium enterprises, and we are still on the line. So if God has given us this opportunity, what stops us from bringing others alongside to benefit from it? It will be human, it will not be to the glory of God if I cannot develop at least 1,000, 2,000 business enterprises in Ondo State.
You also have this idea of a fish market in Ondo State.
Yes.
I drove past that place 2 days ago. Nothing was happening there.
Okay.
What's responsible?
Yes, thank you very much. I think, I don't know the day that you drove past there, but I want to assure you that if you have gone there on Saturday, you will have seen activities going there, because in the fish market,
we have special days. For
special days. The special day for the fish market is usually on Saturday, and on Saturday is when for every other